Shoes, sneakers, feet houses, kicks. Whatever you call them, we all need a pair. And not just to protect your toes from the harsh realities of the floor, but because there are some truly one-of-a-kind ways to deck out your feet. From shoes that look like a classic Nest to shoes that look like a Pollock masterpiece, these are the most unique Nike shoes in the world. Let's begin. Number 15. Glass Nike. Isn't it annoying when you're wearing a pair of sneakers but you can't see what's inside the shoe? What if you want to see your own foot? What if you're wearing some pretty snazzy socks and want the world to know? For a meager $100, your problems are solved. This glass effect pair of Nike shoes are what you get if you combine Cinderella and basketball. Number 14. Air Jordan 16 Light Ginger. Have you ever wanted your feet to look like a croissant? Well, now they can. Originally released in 2001, these shoes are a real rarity. But why? Well, ironically, when first released, the Light Ginger was far from popular. But now, you guessed it, they are highly sought after. As a result, the price has absolutely exploded since. Number 13. Macklemore X Air Jordan 6. Specifically inspired by cacti, the Macklemore X Air Jordan 6 is a shoe with anything but comfort in mind. Now, don't worry, there aren't exactly spikes in it. But the entirely pale green aesthetic is certainly unique, to say the least. Designed in collaboration with musician Macklemore, they're not exactly the first Air Jordans to be created in association with a musician. Kanye West can't seem to stop dropping new shoe designs, but these cacti-themed sneakers will set you back a small fortune. Many of Kanye's designs are pricey, such as the infamous Red October design, which can be bought from eBay for as little as $16.3 million. We sure hope you get both shoes for that price. But the Macklemore X Air Jordan 6 is still pretty up there. Ironically, considering he became famous off the back of Thrift Shop, a song all about buying clothes for cheap, these shoes go for a whopping $25,000. Not really in the spirit of your biggest hit, dude. Number 12. Nike Air Yeezy 1 Grammy Prototype. While we're on the subject of Kanye West, aka Yeezy, aka Ye, aka Mr. Kardashian, another pair of his Nike shoes are pretty notable. The Air Yeezy 1 Grammy Prototype is the exact pair of shoes that were used to announce Kanye's initial partnership with Nike way back in 2008. He even wore them on stage at the Grammys to announce the partnership. With over 10 years worth of new shoe designs by Yeezy constantly marching their ways to shelves, these are the Patient Zero. The price has fluctuated wildly, but you're still gonna need a loan or six to nab a pair. On any given day, the price bounces around from $50,000 to $75,000. Number 11. Nike Air Maze 1 Tokyo Maze. For the easily bored, the Nike Air Maze 1 Tokyo Maze comes with a unique feature to help you pass the time. In celebration of her home city of Tokyo, designer Yuta Takuman embossed monochromatic interlinking lines all over her shoes, giving the effect of a labyrinth. Bored? Simply kick back and try and solve the maze on your feet. Let's just hope there's not a minotaur in the shoe somewhere. That's even worse than having a stone in there. Number 10. Nike Hyper Fresh Shoes Palm Trees. Is trying to wrap your mind around the maze-like puzzle on your shoes stressing you out? Then you need to switch it up by chucking on a more relaxing pair. And what's more relaxing than a nice view of palm trees on the beach? There are two slight variations on the design depending on how much you want to showboat. If you're going for a more muted vibe, the black and white variation give the impression of a silhouette on a summer's eve. But the laser orange sunset gradient pair invoke the Sunset Strip in Hollywood and will definitely grab attention. Number 9. Nike Christmas Promo Shoes. This pair of shoes have little cute snowmen on them. That should be enough to make you want them. Nothing else to say. Cute snowmen. Number 8. Splatter Air Force 1. If you've ever looked at a white pair of sneakers and thought to yourself, yeah, they're alright, but I wish they had more of a Jackson Pollock vibe, then these are the shoes for you. They look a bit like someone with arthritis wielded a paintbrush in each hand and promptly went to town on a nice pair of perfectly white shoes. But the end result is dazzling and beautiful and an absolute must-have for anyone as equally passionate about abstract art as they are the Nike brand. Number 7. Ness Jordans. Have you ever thought to yourself, and I'm sure you have, sure, my shoes let people know I'm committed to the Nike and Air Jordan brands, but how do I show people that I also like retro Nintendo game consoles? Well then, do we have something to show you? This 8-bit inspired pair of Air Jordans are designed to ape the classic color scheme of the original Nintendo Entertainment System, right down to there being actual working buttons on the back of the shoe. Unfortunately, you can't actually play games in the shoes. Who wouldn't want to attempt to speedrun a Super Mario Bros. 3 in their shoes? But it's still pretty neat. Number 6. Super Nintendo Entertainment System Jordans. But the retro gaming love doesn't stop with the NES. They even moved into the 16-bit era with this pair designed to match the console color scheme of the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. And again, you even got working buttons on a D-pad on the heel. We're guessing the reason they didn't do an N64 era shoe is because nobody wants to try and squeeze their foot into that 3-pronged shape. Number 5. Space Jam. Now we are entering the territory of super rare shoes, the truly one-of-a-kind. Because this pair isn't a pair that's actually available from Nike. This is an incredibly awesome customer pair by a YouTuber and shoe artist, Sierrato. If you're a fan of Nike shoes and Air Jordans but you don't know this dude, you owe it to yourself to check out his work. He's done a lot of awesome custom designs, each just as unique as the last. And if you're a fan of the brand, you're gonna want to spend some time exploring his work and discovering what he can really do. But of all of his amazing, one-of-a-kind designs, it's the Space Jam one that really grabbed our attention. Maybe it's because of the connection between Nike and basketball. Maybe it's because of the crazy level of detail he's poured into bringing these classic cartoon characters to life. But the artistic talent on display here is truly something else. Number 4. Nathan Bell Design. The Nike Zoom Fly SP Fast Nathan Bell is part of a collaboration with artist Nathan Bell, featuring hand-drawn graphics that celebrate running as a competition with yourself. It's designed to meet the demands of your toughest tempo runs, long runs, and race day, with a responsive construction that turns the pressure of each stride into energy return for the next. It's also a hilariously goofy pair of shoes. It's an awesome design, but not exactly one for the shy. Bright pink and covered in attention-grabbing scribbles that make it look like a toddler's run rampant with a permanent marker, it's a bold look that would suit a bold personality. Number 3. Nike Adapt BB. Now, this shoe is the future, literally. The Nike Adapt BB is the most tech-packed sneaker you will ever find. If you wanted more gadgets crammed into your footwear than most people have in their homes, this is the high-tech, futuristic sneaker you've been looking for. It can even be controlled by your smartphone. The future is here, and it's all about controlling your shoes with your phone for some reason. Each shoe, that's each single shoe, not pair, has 3 processors on board, a 6-axis gyroscope, and accelerometer. And that's not all. There's a capacitive sensor that detects when your foot is in or out of the shoe, onboard memory that stores program code, and even a high-performance Bluetooth low-energy chip that allows it to talk to other devices. There are buttons on each side that will tighten and loosen the laces for you, but via an app, you can not only adjust the laces from your phone, you can change the color of the lights in the shoes. Via something called Electric Adaptable Reaction Lacing, which sounds like techno-babble from Star Trek The Next Generation but is apparently a real thing, the pressure and fit of the shoes can adjust perfectly around the contours of your foot. Cinderella really could have done with that. Number 2. Back to the Future. Now then, we couldn't exactly discuss self-tying laces without bringing up the original. The classic family-friendly sci-fi epic Back to the Future 2 saw protagonist Marty McFly find himself in the distant future of 2015. Yeah, that was the future then, and of all the strange futuristic tech he encountered, the Nike shoes with self-tying laces were the thing that captured the imagination of the audience the most. Well, when the real year 2015 reared its head, Nike decided to treat the world to real-life versions of the shoes from the 80s film. In the film, the flashing lights and auto-lacing features of the shoes were obviously achieved with cinematic special effects. But oh, how the technology of the sneaker has evolved. 3 decades later, and Nike finally had the technology required to bring the shoe to life. The release of the battery-powered, motor-driven sneakers was limited to fewer than 100 pairs. These are some of the most sought-after sneakers in the world, and cost, on average, $26,000. You'll need Michael J. Fox's bank balance to snap yourself a pair. Number 1. Red October. We name dropped it earlier, so we might as well dive in and talk about it. The Red October simply has to be one of the most unique and fascinating shoes in Nike history. On a surface level, there doesn't exactly seem to be all that much special about them. They're just red all over. But despite being simply red, this pair wasn't designed by Mick Hucknall. They were designed by Yeezy himself and have become the very definition of iconic. They average at a price of $8,000, yet some go on eBay for millions. While its release on the market was unexpected, the Nike Air Yeezy 2 SP Red October is reflected as one of the hottest shoes in the sneakers domain. This kick has been hyped for its bold, monochromatic colorway with striking details. When it comes to comfort, this pairs at par to high-performance shoes with brilliant craftsmanship labeled with majestic names in the industry. A must-have for buyers and collectors who are willing to shell out just to have in hand this off-the-beaten sneaker. Which of these shoes would you most like to see at the end of your feet? Are there any that you're seriously considering saving up for? Also, check out our other cool stuff showing up on screen right now. See you next time.